recording. All right, everybody, welcome to Wapiti Live Q&A for August 16th, 2023. This is actually going to be the last one before season because I will be traveling to camp on the 30th. So will not be around. And the place we are hunting this year actually really doesn't have much coverage at all, which I kind of like, because that means I won't be getting phone calls and text messages while I'm on the mountainside saying, hey, I'm 300 yards from an elk. What should I do? So,
That's 200 yards.
which is going to be good. It still amazes me every time that text or phone call, because normally I have my phone on airplane mode and I'll get to a place to switch it off just to check messages. And I usually always get at least one text. Hey, are you busy? I'm on the mountainside. I have a bull that's bugling. What should I do? Because I'm hunting elk.
Oh.
All right.
Go kill the elk.
So let's break into this. So what we're going to do tonight is we are going to break down the month of September. Somebody reached out to me and asked if I would cover this topic because September this year has 2 full moons. And it's kind of funny. I know we've talked about full moons in the past, and I don't know why it makes so many people freak out. Full moons are not a bad thing. And actually, you can do a lot more during full moons than you can during dark nights. And what I mean by that is you can get up early in the morning and you can go out and bugling. In the early morning, you hear something, you have enough light that you can start slipping towards them. So that way, as soon as you get to legal shooting light, and you're right within striking distance, and you can be a lot more effective. Yes, they do go to bed earlier. Yes, it's later when they come out, but that midday activity is really heightened. And that is a great time to kill a bull because a lot of times those cows are bedded down and that herd bull will be up and wandering. And so you have a much better shot. So, all right, let's do this. Where's my share screen button? There we go. And I want to share this. Okay. You guys see this okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yes.
if you guys remember, I have talked about this in the past. This is moongiant.com. So the one nice thing I really like about Moon Giant is not only does it just give you the month, but you can break this down day by day. And if somebody that was fairly new to elk hunting that were deathly afraid of full moons would look at this calendar right here and they would absolutely panic. Look at how many days that we have bright moons. There's a lot of moon this year during September. So what we're gonna do now, the other thing I like about Moon Giant is you can go and we'll click right on Friday the 1st. So as you can see, now we start getting day to day. This website uses cookies. Great. Okay. Just don't reach out to me about my car's extended warranty. So few things that's kind of nice about this. So if you go into the day, the big thing that I like to do is scroll down. Reason being is this is going to give you your moon rise and your moon set. Uh-oh. Can you guys still see my screen share?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Huh?
Because my camera shut off again. So. Okay, good. So you can see the moon rise and moon set. So even though you look at the whole month, you don't really have to panic about those full moons because it could be that this first one, your moon rise could be 3 o'clock in the morning, which means there's still a good part of the dark night. So about 3 a.m. is when it's going to be really high. So this is going to be a pretty bright night. So that first day, that September 1st, basically this is where I'm going to get up a little bit earlier, kind of go out bugling a little bit in the dark and just kind of work towards them. But really, I'm not changing my approach as far as call goes. And we'll kind of we'll get through the moon phase first, and then we'll come back through the calendar, and I'll go through each of the weeks and just kind of talk about what I think activity levels are going to be based on what I've been seeing right now. So, all right. Nice thing is you don't have to go back to the calendar. You can actually just use the, got it, okay. Just use the forward or back buttons. So here we are, September 2nd, still 9 p.m., 9 a.m. So pretty much on this, I can guarantee that going back to the calendar, pretty much all of these in that first, we'll just skip to the 6th and just double check. They're all going to be pretty close to that 9 p.m. Okay, that one's midnight, but it's still half a moon. Not too bright. So I'm not too worried about that. Let's start taking a look a little later in the month. 25th is a pretty good sized moon. See this right here? This is what I was talking about. September 25th, moon, you got illumination of 79%. So that's a pretty bright moon. But the moon's rising at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and setting at 3 a.m. This is later in September, which means daylight about this time doesn't really happen until pushing 7. So it's a little later. So you basically have a good section of the night that is pretty dang dark. So nothing too bad to worry about there. And we'll just go to the 29th. See, rising at 6 p.m., sitting at 6 a.m. That's going to be a pretty bright night there. So, but the other things to consider on the moon is you could get weather. You could have weather coming in that could block that. And so even though it's supposed to be a full moon, you get a cloud cover. It's dark night. It's almost like having a no moon.
Good point.
So, the other thing too is, you know, like I said, most people during full moons, they only focus on that first hour of the day and the last hour of the day. Rest of the time they're sitting in camp, especially early on in the season, because, well, it's hot and they just don't, they're in the mindset that the middle part of the day is just a waste. I'm telling you, especially early on, that is the best time to be out in the woods. So leave camp in the dark, come back in the dark, stay out there for that midday time frame. So, all right. So, am I worried about 2 full moons? No.
No.
I don't change my call strategy. I don't change my call approach. The only thing I do change is how early I get up and hit the woods. So I want to be out there earlier on bright moons. So, all right, let's break down the weeks. So bulls are just now starting to rub. There are some that are completely rubbed off, others that are just starting. And then there's others too that haven't even started rubbing. You know, and we're 2 weeks from season opening here in Idaho. So kind of what I'm thinking is here in the next 10 days, these guys are going to be rubbing their velvets off, getting hard horned, and that buddy bachelor group is going to start. They've kind of already started establishing their pecking order, but now it's going to be ramped up even more, which basically means from about the 26th through about the 20th or the 6th or 7th, those bulls are going to be cruising for cows. They're going to be gathering up their herds. So that first week of the season, your inviting cow routine is going to be effective. The other thing too that's going to be effective is being a bull that's just advertising himself. He's broadcasting out there that, you know, he is a bull, he's in the area, any cows in the area need to come to him. And this is going to be beneficial because if you have kind of a dominant bull in the area, he's not going to really like you coming into his area and advertising for cows because he's doing the same thing and he doesn't want competition. He doesn't know who you are. You're a new voice. So he's going to want to come over and he's going to want to establish dominance over you. Now, from about the 8th, 9th to about the 12th, that's kind of that window where there's not going to be a whole lot of activity. This is kind of that's that period where you kind of start the season and you have really good bugling, and then all of a sudden you get a stretch of 4 or 5 days right there where you can't even buy a bugle, where it's just quiet. Basically, that's going to be the stretch where those bulls have their cows. They're in their rutting areas and they're just waiting for cows to come into estrus. That's going to be a great time to really set up in areas and do blind calling routines with the breeding sequence. Just focus on your story, painting that picture that you're a bull with a hot cow. What's going to happen, those other bulls that are within earshot are going to scent check their cows real quick and then come your way. Okay, then basically from that point through the end of the month, it's rut on. Autumn equinox this year is Saturday the 23rd, which actually technically happens at 12:49 a.m., I believe. So, but Saturday the 23rd is the autumn equinox. So now remember, the autumn equinox is the equal amount of daylight and darkness. The other tricky thing with this is you got a pretty good sized moon that's kind of starting on the 23rd. So bright nights, there's going to be a lot of activity at night. Let me back up. Week before that, kind of the 10th through the 16th. That's going to be a very, very dark night. You're going to have a lot of activity during the day. At this point, that's kind of in that window where I said breeding sequence is going to be that blind calling, setting up, going really, really well. Okay. Jim, did you have a question? I saw your hand up.
No, I was just thinking that our elk season for archery starts on the 15th this year, and usually it's around the 8th or something. And I'm like, that extra week just adds more. We wait for 1 week, it's just cooler, a lot cooler, and things are a little bit more action. So of course I didn't get a tag this year. I'm like, oh man.
Weather's, yeah, weather's cooler.
Yeah.
Moon's dark.
Yeah, the weather's just that extra week, just like it just goes, and it's cooler and more active. And this year it's a week later. Didn't think a week makes a difference, but it really does.
It does. It really does. So,
but that's the way it goes.
So
I'll be calling you and asking you how you're doing. Just kidding. Just kidding.
All right. It's just going to go right to voicemail. So, all right.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
So we've talked about the autumn equinox, how most cows are bred within a 7 to 10 day window of that autumn equinox. That autumn equinox could be the start of it, the end of it, or it could fall right in the middle. Kind of what I've been seeing with elk behavior and what I'm seeing on this calendar, I kind of think that 19th through the 28th is going to kind of be peak rut this year. Now, with that said, me personally, I'm going to be up there from the 15th through the 24th. Just so that way, if the rut does happen a little early, I'm there for it. But I'm thinking it's going to be about that 19th through the 27th, 28th is kind of where peak of the rut's going to hit, which that's going to be lots and lots of bugling activities because you're going to have a lot of cows coming into estrus. You're going to have a lot of cows coming into cycles. So there is going to be a lot of bugling activity. Now, even though you're hearing a lot of bugling activity, that can be a very, very tough time to kill a mature bull. It's an easy time to kill raghorns and younger bulls. So just because they've been kicked out, pushed around, especially with that herd bull really focusing on all of his cows that are coming in estrus. You kind of getting off on the side, kind of doing your own breeding sequence to match that bull's. So if you get into an area and you hear a lot of bugling, don't go after that herd trying to pull that bull away. That's just going to be an exercise in frustration because that herd bull is not going to leave. If he's got a hot cow, there's no way in heck you're going to pull him away. And I know a lot of people are like, well, just start bugling at him. Okay, how are you different than the 5, 6, 7 other satellites that are bugling at him? You're not. So, but you get close proximity to them and you start doing your own breeding sequence, those satellite bulls, they may sit there and go, okay, you know what? I know I have a chance with this group over here, but that dude over there, I might be able to intimidate or beat that bull and then breed. And when I say satellites, these could be good solid 5s, they could be small 6s, and of course they could be spindly raghorns. I mean, I ran into this same exact scenario when I was hunting Montana. That evening hunt, got up into an old burn basin, and I mean there was 7, 8 bulls just screaming. And I first started getting in the bugle fest screaming, and then I got close enough that I just set up and started doing my own breeding sequence. And man, I picked through the old burn, and here came 5 bulls in single file coming my direction. So, and I let the first couple go by, and then the third one, he was a small 5x5. He was not a very big 5x5 at all, but I could see stuff on his antlers, and as he got closer, that's when I realized that was dried velvet on his antlers. I'm not passing up funky. I mean, how often are you going to get a bull first part of October that still has dried velvet hanging from his antlers? So I zipped him and went to go find Rocky real quick and came back and broke that. I gutted that bull out and propped him up because those bulls were still just screaming. And when I came back to my bull, I heard Rocky bugle and knew that he had come up behind me. So I had already gutted out my bull real quick. So I slipped in behind Rocky and started calling to get the attention of that herd bull so that Rocky could slip in for a shot, which he did. It just was kind of last light, and he didn't see that there was a burnt stub that was the perfect height to block the vitals. He center punched that tree. So, but he was so funny too. He came over to where I was calling, and I had my hands in my pocket, and he's like, "What were you doing?" I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, I popped up over because we got to this knob and I went left and he went right. I went left into the burnt basin. He went right into the drainage." And he goes, "There was nothing in the drainage. I popped up on the ridge and I hear this bugling, and all I hear you is you're bugling out the other way, and then you disappeared." I said, "Well, that's because I was circling around looking for you." And he's like, "Oh, did you get scared? I mean, there was 8 bulls in here bugling. Did you get scared? You were afraid to be in this burnt basin with 8 bulls bugling?" And so, of course, I just played onto it. And I said, "Yeah," I said, I didn't know what to do. I said, that's a lot of elk. I mean, there's a lot of bulls that were bugling and bulls that weren't bugling and a lot of cows. And I said, so basically, Rocky, I was running over there to you to get a little bit of moral support so you can give me a pep talk on what I should do. And he goes, "Well, the first thing you should have done was just stayed on and engaged them." I was like, "Well, at that point, it was a little too late." He goes, "What the heck do you mean it was too late?" And I pulled my bloody hands out of my pocket and I said, because I had already shot one at that point. He's like, "You got one?" And I was like, "Yeah." I said, "In fact," I said, I just got done gutting them out when I really heard you start bugling in that with that herd bull. That's why I slipped in behind you to kind of be your caller." And he's like, "Oh, I guess you weren't afraid." I said, "Heck no, I was loving this moment." You know, middle of Montana, middle of Montana up in a burnt basin with multiple bulls. No, it was a magical day.
Hey, Michael, your camera, your video went away.
It went away?
Where do you see the Elk Calling Academy symbol
Oh,
instead of your handsome face? There you are.
Here.
There you are.
so you looking at me or you looking at the calendar?
Both.
I'm looking at you. Look, we're both.
Calendar.
Oh, because you guys can see the little deal on the side, huh?
Yeah.
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 Oh, okay. Well, so anyways,
This is a good chart.
this moon giant is a great tool.
Is it a subscription or
No.
is that
No,
that's free?
it's 100% free.
Wow.
Look at that. We get to start our season right off the get-go with full moons.
My
Yeah.
the friend I'm hunting with has a tag for the second season in New Mexico, which is the 15th through the 24th. So that's going to be really good time to hunt.
15th through the 24th. Yeah, you guys are going to be hitting it really well.
Yeah.
So, and that's basically the same time I'll be out there too. So I'll
That's
leave.
on our stairs through the 15th. So yeah.
Yeah, I'll leave work early on the 15th and head up to camp and not come back until the 24th. So, and if need be, we can go up on that last couple of days, but I don't think we're going to need it. I don't think we're going to need that whole 15th through the 24th. But even if we are tagged out, work decided to
It's
give me
vacation
vacation. Yeah, I mean, work decided to pay me to go out and do this, so I'm going to stay out there and do it and film.
That's right. That's what I do. I get my elk on the first day. I'm on vacation.
Just get to know the area a little bit better. So that is basically it with the moon phases or the moon situation for September and kind of breaking down those weeks. So, yeah, I'm thinking that 19th through the 28th is kind of what I'm feeling for really good peak rut window. And now peak rut, a few days before that 19th, you're going to have you'll have a few cows come in estrus, but the bulk is at 19th through the 28th. And then let's see, 28th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, look at that. October 12th. So anything that's not bred there by the 28th, going to come back in estrus about October 12th, 14th time frame. Right in time for Liz's rifle hunt.
Perfect.
The other thing I've been seeing, this new area that we went to, God, this place is green as green can be. Good Lord, there's a lot of feed up in the mountains this year. It's just incredible. And some really good horn growth. I mean, every bull that I had on that one trail camera was solid. And there's one bull in there that if I put him on the ground, he would be my largest to date. He is a dandy. And Liz, being the supporting wife that she is, will just think about how big he'll be next year.
Yeah.
Yep. So I tried telling her that too about that buck, and she goes, "What do you mean? He's dying this year." I was like, "Oh, so
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
There's
yeah, deer tags just general, so it's not a problem going in there." So, no, the cool thing is too, where I mean, Eric, one of my hunting partners, Eric's been battling diabetes, and he just had a couple more toes kind of lopped off. So he's having a really hard time because he finally realized he's not going to be able to hike the mountains the way that he used to. And we basically told him, you know what, you focus on getting healthy. That's what you need to right now. Don't worry about the hunting. We will find a place to put a tree stand or put a ground blind that's easy for you to walk in. And man, I'll tell you what, where this trail camera was, all he has to do is ride about 1.5 miles up a motorcycle trail, which he is very proficient at, and then walk about 500 yards on it's not too steep, just 500 yards from where he parks the bike over to the tree stand and climb up into it. And especially if he's riding one of the electric motorcycles in, he can slip in there quiet. And I think he would have a heyday on this because, you know, it's funny. I went to pull the camera and I'm like, I know I had this thing tighter than this. Why is this thing so loose? Going through the pictures, I realized why. Those elk messed with that camera and they pushed that thing 2 full rotations around that damn tree. So, well, this is how recovering of the trail cameras went. I got to the first trail camera, which the first time I pulled memory cards, this one had the most pictures on it. As I'm walking to it, there's a bunch of domestic cattle all over the place. And I'm like, good Lord, I'm going to have 1,000 pictures of cattle on this camera. Still elk tracks in there. I open up the camera and it says 0 pictures. And I'm like, what the heck? It's on, everything's operating. So I pull the memory card out and dummy me put one of my memory cards in it that is a memory card for my video camera, not a video card that is formatted for trail cameras. So we go to the second spot. I go walking up to it and I'm like, why is my screen over the infrared bulbs cracked? Pop that memory card in and sure as there's a little shit bear that all of a sudden you can see him get in the meadow, come right straight across, and then next picture is his mouth. Yeah, he bit my camera. And then the third one that was absolutely loose. So
Yeah, we got our cameras up last week.
that one there, Greg, is probably a little bit bigger than the one that I think we can do this. Yeah, we're trying.
I should send you, Michael, the video of the grizzly that came in on our carcass after we had already removed all the meat. We put a game camera over it and left
really?
it for a week. Yeah, I should send that, and you can post that on your ECA site. You have permission to post that. Oh, wow.
I don't know though. So yeah, this was the very first picture. This was actually 3 hours after I set the trail camera on this spot.
Wow.
Not 2011.
Yeah. Oops. Let me just try this. I don't know if this is gonna work.
We're looking at your logo again, just so you know.
Are you?
Yep.
Because it said
It's
the
a
camera.
good logo.
Because it said the camera stopped. Because I stopped
There you
stopped the other one, but
go. You're back.
I'm back or the
You're back.
You're back.
so
Oh.
this was 3.5 weeks ago. So this guy still had 3 weeks worth of growing. See if whoa, no, I don't want to do that. I did the wrong thing and hit the wrong X and ended this meeting really abruptly.
See ya. Good luck.
We're still here.
See you in October.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of going through these pictures of nostrils and eyeballs. I'm trying to remember. All right, so
While you're looking, see if I can do this.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
That looks like a pretty big grizzly, man.
that's a good sized grizzly.
Wow.
He sat on there. He sat on there for 4.5 hours.
Just eating on that carcass.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a half hour after, we didn't find out till we got back to the cabin, but a half hour after he left the carcass, we walked in to fetch the camera.
And he wasn't laying too far away. So, all
I'm
right,
just, we have no clue.
you guys
Where he
ready?
was.
You guys ready to see this monster buck?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right down here. I'm just kidding. That's not really the monster buck. That's just another small one that we got hanging on there. Where is this guy? I think he was before that. There he is. Now remember, this dude is only a 3-point.
Meaning 6.3 on each side. Yeah.
Yeah, there's,
Oh wow, that's cool.
yes.
He's a stud buck. He's not only is he really tall, but he's outside his ears pretty good too.
Well,
Yes.
don't you count those tines? That looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 on each side.
Well, basically, we call this, Larry, a 3x3 with eye guards.
Okay.
We don't count the eye guards.
Okay.
So, but I'm trying to find what I can do. I know for him, there was a guy that I think you guys will like to see. There's an eyeball. Where the heck is this dude? Okay. This is the guy that really made me think about switching back.
Oh,
Yep.
wow, that's a nice bull.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a good solid 6. And
He's got goalposts.
yeah. Well, and the other thing about him too is the worst part is with those cows messing with, because the very first day, that 5-point where it was facing, what it is, it's a spot that I think ranchers used to have. They used to take salt blocks in for the cattle, and so all that salt and minerals just soaked into the ground. Because these guys this thing is pawed out. It's a depression crater that's probably 2.5, 3 feet deep that they've just pawed at. And so they come in that first night, that 5-point, and then there was probably 30 cows and calves that just came in and stayed there all night. And then from that point on, they just started inching that camera around. And I never had that view again, pointing that direction until the very last day. So those 2 rotations around the tree took, 3 weeks for them to push that thing around. A lot of times it was pointed over to the other way, and I'm like, okay, next year if I put a camera on that, I'm going to put a post up high, a screw-in post, and put the camera up and angle it down so they can't get to it, and I can get that view that I want. So anyways, so all right, there's moon phases. There's my breakdown of September. So that 3rd week, let's say 15th through the 24th is going to be the hot window for 2023. We can stamp it, book it, and put that down as that's what ECA says. So then when we come back, if that doesn't happen, y'all can call me a liar. So, all right.
You got us out in the field. That's what counted.
Exactly. So, all right, before we wrap this up, any questions, comments, concerns?
Yes. How much do you want for tube number 4 in the challenge?
You know what's funny is when I was recording the video of showing the tubes, and I made the comment, I'll put links in the descriptions down below. Brandon was there with me to retrieve trail cameras, and he was like, "So, are you going to put links to the funnel and the water hose and the metal clamp that you use to put that together?" And I'm like, "No." So, what he's talking about, guys, was I did the 2023 Grunt Tube Challenge, and the wrinkle that I threw in this year was a gray funnel with an 1.25 inch water hose that I use to put water in my trailer. And I was filling the trailer last year and I had that and I was like, I'm kind of curious. So I popped a reed in my mouth and bugled on it and everybody was like, damn, that thing sounds good. And I was really nervous when I edited the video because I was like, babe, what if people choose number 4? What if number 4 wins it? And she's like, you are going to kill everybody's sales. And I was talking to Mark Carlton about it. And I told Mark, what I threw in there. And Mark thought it was hilarious. He's like, I think that's awesome. So, but yeah, I have gotten a few messages that are like, there's no way in heck I would have guessed that number 4 was a water funnel.
Neither would I. Neither would I.
Got to throw that wrinkle in, and
I thought it was good.
Toes. So good deal. So, all right, guys. Well, I appreciate y'all for tuning in tonight. Thank you much. And as always, keep calling, keep practicing. More importantly, though, have fun. And we won't see you in 2 weeks. We're going to see you guys in 4 weeks when I'm back from that opening first weekend adventure, and we'll give a little bit of a recap. So
good luck on your hunt.
Thank you, guys. Be safe. We'll see you guys down the road a little ways.
All
We'll
right.
see you.
All right.
Thank you.
God bless. Bye-bye.